Hi and welcome to Priori Digital Studio tutorial. In this video, I will show you how to set up and use your automated paycheck budget spreadsheet in the most efficient way. In this video, I am using Google Sheets, but the Excel version is exactly the same. First thing, we protect most of the cell where there are formulas to make sure that you don't erase any important formulas that could impact the spreadsheet. If you see this message, it means you are not supposed to touch it. But don't worry, I will show you step by step how to prepare your spreadsheet. So if by mistake you touch a cell with a formula and see this message, simply click on the X and you will be fine. Moreover, we establish a color code to show you which cell can be edited and which one cannot. So basically, you only can edit the cells that have a white background. Another small warning, please don't move a cell from one place to another. If you do move a cell, it could generate an issue by messing up the automation of the spreadsheet. The best way to avoid these errors is to copy and paste your data. The first tab of the spreadsheet is the Setup tab. As you can see on the left-hand side of the tab, you will find a ribbon with a list of all the tabs to easily navigate through them. The tabs are separated by sections for easy navigation. The first section is the Setup area where you can enter all your financial information and configure the spreadsheet. This section is crucial as you can frequently return to these tabs to auto-populate the other sections of the spreadsheet. Next, you will find the dashboard sections, which includes the main dashboard, the annual total dashboard, as well as the monthly calendar view. Finally, the last section is designed to enhance your wealth, budget, and overall financial management, featuring 5 insightful tabs. The whole menu is clickable, so if you want to go to the budget tab, you simply have to click on the budget link and the spreadsheet will automatically bring you to this specific tab. If you don't want to see this menu, you also have the possibility to hide it. To do so, simply click on the minus sign and the menu will be hidden. It's the only time when you see this message and click on OK. This menu is available in all the tabs of the spreadsheet. To reopen the menu, simply click on the plus sign, again on OK, and as you can see, the menu will reappear. In the rest of the Setup tab, you will see 4 steps to help you start your spreadsheet and populate the information in the following tabs. Step 1. In this table, you will have to enter your currency symbol. You won't have to enter it in anywhere else in the spreadsheet. So we are in dollars, so we simply type in the dollar sign, but if you are in euro, simply type in your symbol. Step 2, then you will have to set up the starting date of the spreadsheet by typing in the year and selecting a month with the drop-down menu. This spreadsheet works on a 12-month basis. Typically, the year starts in January for my personal budget, but you can perfectly start your budget when you purchase this spreadsheet or anytime within the year. Step 3, then you will be able to enter your different income categories or income stream. In general, you will have 1 or 2 different income categories if you are a couple. For example, here I wrote Paycheck John and Paycheck Mary. Then step 4, the last feature of this tab is to define your expenses category. The spreadsheet is already separated into 5 big categories: bills, subscriptions, expenses, savings, and debts. Under each big category, you will be able to define your own subcategories. These subcategories will be used in your budget tab of the spreadsheet. So if you need to add a new subcategory in the middle of the year, you will have to come back to the Setup tab to add it here. So now let's take a look at the Transaction tab. The Transaction tab is a transaction tracker where you will be able to log all your transactions over the year. There are basically 2 ways to enter your data in this specific tab. The first one would be to manually enter all your transactions. So you just have to type in the date of the transaction, the amount, and use the drop-down menu to select the subcategory previously defined in the Setup tab. The category will appear automatically. You also have some space for a description if needed. The second option, which I find the most interesting, involves copying and pasting data directly from a CSV file of your bank statement. Since our spreadsheet has a specific structure and design, you'll need to copy and paste your data column by column. Be aware that you might need to format the original CSV file, as the format can vary between different banks. So let's walk through an example together. I have opened a CSV file with sample data. First, I'll select the data in the date column, copy it by pressing on Ctrl+C, then switch back to the spreadsheet and paste it by pressing on Ctrl+Shift+V in the next empty row of the date column. So as you can see here, the dates were copy and pasted. If the dates aren't recognized or if the month and day are swapped, you might need to adjust the date format directly in the CSV file. So for Excel, you can modify the date format by selecting the cell, clicking on number, date, and then choosing the correct format. So for Google Sheet, you can select the date, go to format, number, and then custom date and time, and create the correct format to match the spreadsheet. The default date format in this spreadsheet is month, day, and year. So once the dates are corrected, follow the same step for the amount column. Depending on how the data is formatted in your CSV file, you might need to make some adjustments here as well. So let's take an example together and copy our amount. So same thing, Control C, go back to the spreadsheet, and then Control Shift V. So as you can see here, all the data is pasted. So as you can see here, the CSV file provided by our bank creates holes. So we will have either to copy and paste more numbers, or we could have simply manually entered the missing data. So regardless of the method you choose, you'll need to manually select your subcategories, but the category will be automatically assigned. So we will choose our subcategories now. Finally, keep in mind that not every transaction in your bank account impacts your budget. For example, a credit card payment should not be counted since it would result in doubling counting the same transaction. So as shown a few seconds ago, we copy and pasted our data from the CSV file provided by our bank, but keep in mind that not all banks provide CSV files and that you can also enter your data one by one manually. Once all your data is in this table, you can simply scroll to the right and you will see a really similar table. If you do not do anything, it will display exactly the same data, but the most interesting feature is that you can filter and sort all your data. So let's take an example together. As you can see here, you have a lot of choice to sort your data. Let's select a subcategory, for example, childcare and schooling. So as you can see now, we only have all the transactions from this subcategory. So now let's filter through the amount. So let's put a minimum at $5 and then the maximum at $250. So as you can see here, we just have a few transactions left. Then we can use the sorting option and sort it by amount. We could also sort it by ascending or descending. When you want to delete the filter and get back all your data, you simply click all the filters and then click on delete, and as you can see, all the data will reappear. The first tab of the dashboard section is the main dashboard of this spreadsheet. You do not need to enter any information in this tab, everything is auto-populated. This tab is basically a summary of your yearly information. And as you can see on the top, you have all your basic information, like how much was your annual income, your annual expenses, and so on. Then you will find multiple comprehensive charts that help you understand your yearly financial performance. You'll find 6 detailed charts that provides insights onto your income, a breakdown on your spending, an overview of your savings, and a list of your largest expenses ranked from highest to lowest, along with their corresponding dollar amounts and percentages. As you scroll down, you'll find a summary of the key tabs of this spreadsheet. In the sinking fund section, you can easily track your saving goals. You'll also get an overview of your overall debt situation and visualize how your net worth grows throughout the year. I'll cover these tabs in more details later in this tutorial. So now let's have a look at the annual total tab. The annual total is basically a summary of your 12 months separated into 3 tables in the chart. You do not need to enter any information in this tab, everything is auto-populated. This tab provides a monthly summary of your income and expenses, making it easy to quickly review your yearly spending across various categories. It is a valuable tool for identifying any areas where you might be overspending, allowing you to make necessary adjustments. So now let's have a look at the Smart Calendar tab. In this tab, you simply select the year and the month to view all your income, bills, subscriptions, and debts. You also have the option to choose the start date of the week. So now let's use the drop-down menu to change the month to September. And if I wanted, I could also change the start date to any day of the week. So as you can see here, we can easily see all our bills and expenses based on the colors of the legend. Then every time you pay the bill, you can simply click the checkbox, and as you can see, it will become orange and a strike through. We also added some charts and graphs at the top to help you understand your monthly bill calendar. So as you can see here, you have a summary of how many income, bills, subscriptions, and debts are due for the month, as well as their associated amounts. You also have an expense distribution to see the distribution in between your debt, subscriptions, and bills, and also a small chart where you see basically where you spend your most of the money. This calendar could be also printed to help you never forget to pay a bill. So the first thing is to select the whole calendar with your mouse by clicking on the right button. Then simply go to the printing icon, click on it, and as you can see here, you can see your calendar. You have to update the printing settings, so select cells and then make sure that you are in landscape and the scale fit to page. Then you can click on next, and as you can see here, you will be easily able to print your calendar. If you are using Excel, these specific instructions are available in our README instruction file available in your order. So now let's take a look at the budget tab. The first step in this tab is to select your budget period. This spreadsheet offers great flexibility, allowing you to track your budget weekly, bi-weekly, every 15 days, monthly, or over a custom time frame. Simply choose the option that best suits your needs, which typically depends on your paycheck frequency. Next, you can define your start date by double-clicking and then choose your date. In Google Sheets, you will see this small calendar. However, Excel does not have this feature. You will have to type in your date. If you choose a period other than custom, the end date will be automatically calculated and the end date field will be grayed out. However, if you select custom, you'll need to enter an end date manually. You can also enter your initial balance for the period. The initial balance could also be zero. So the final balance is automated based on your income and expenses during that specific period. At the top of the tab, you will find your budget summary data, which allows you to quickly see your total earnings and expenses for the selected period. There are also several charts that highlight important aspects of your budget, such as budget versus actual spending, an allocation summary. In this allocation summary, if you click on the small arrow, you can switch in between your allocation summary budget and real, meaning your real expenses. Then you have a comparison in between the current period and your previous period. You also have a left to budget and left to spend table. And right above this, you have your total money received versus the total money spent. We also added some visual cues to help you understand your budget. The aim for the budget tab is to create a budget based on your estimated income and expenses and make sure that you have enough money to pay for all these expenses. If you have money left at the end of the period, good job, you can use it to pay your debts more quickly or put this money aside in savings. But the most important thing is to keep this concept in mind. So first thing, you will want to fill in the income table. In this table, the source of income is automated based on the setup tab. After that, you have the expected column that is not automated. That is where you will enter your budgeted income. So simply type in the amount you think you will receive as an income. The real column is totally automated based on the transaction log, as well as the utilization column, which represent the difference in between your expected income and your real income. Next, you'll need to budget your expenses for each of the 5 major expense categories. The category names are already populated based on the information entered in the Setup tab. Remember, there's a difference in between your budget and actual expenses. The budget column represents the amount you plan to spend each period, while the real column shows the real amount spent in each subcategory during that specific period. This amount is totally automated. So just like the income table for the expenses, bills, and all the other categories, in the budget tab, you simply have to type in the amount that you think you will spend in each category. As you can see, we also incorporated visual cues to help you better understand your budget. An arrow pointing down indicates that you spent less than the previous period, while as an arrow pointing up signifies an increase. Additionally, we've included a visual percentage to show you your budget utilization. So if you need more rows, simply click the plus sign here and 25 more rows will appear. Again, when you click on the plus and minus sign is the only time when you can click on OK when you see this message. And basically, the rest of the tab is completely automated. As you scroll down, you'll encounter 3 sections. The first section is the transaction filter table, where all your transactions for the period will appear automatically. This table pulls data directly from the transaction tab. Additionally, you can filter your transaction at the top of the table by date, amount, categories, and subcategory. While transactions are initially sorted by date, you can also sort them by amount in ascending or descending order. So let's do an example together. Let's choose a category for like bills, for example. And then let's select the subcategory electricity. So as you can see here, we only have 3 bills left. Then we could also sort it ascending via the amount. So click on amount and then ascending. As you can see here, everything shifts. So if we want to remove the filter, simply click on everything you selected and then delete. As you can see here, all the data will reappear. The second section features the When Do I Spend My Money chart and table, which shows you when you spend the most throughout the period. If you scroll down a little bit, in the third section, you will find the Where Does My Money Go chart and table. This section organizes your expenses from the highest to the lowest, with the chart summarizing the information to help you focus on your largest expenditures. One of the most valuable features of this product is that since almost everything is automated in the budget tab, you can easily duplicate this tab to track another time period without affecting the dashboard or previous tabs. To duplicate the tab, simply right-click on the tab name and select Duplicate. Keep in mind it might take a few seconds, especially if your spreadsheet contains a lot of data or if your internet connection is slow. Please note that once you duplicate this tab, the protection will be removed, so make sure to only enter your data in the white cells to avoid any issues. Moreover, to organize better your spreadsheet, you can easily rename the tab simply by double-clicking on it and then change the name. So now let's take a look at the Sinking Fund tab. This tab will help you set money aside to reach your goals. To set up your sinking fund, you just have to list your goals. You can list up to 15 sinking funds in this tab. First, give your money saving goal a name, then write the amount of money needed to reach that goal, the amount you aim to put aside each month toward that goal, and the amount of money you already have aside for that specific goal. It could be 0 at that point. The rest of the table is auto-populated. So now let's take an example together. Let's say that our next goal is to buy a new dog. So simply type in buy a new dog or buy a dog. Let's say our goal is to get $2,000 for this purchase. Let's say that we want to put $50 aside each month. Let's say that we already have $500 for this goal. So as you can see here, we have some auto-populated data in the saved left and month left column. So in the contribution tracker on the left-hand side, you have to track the amount you put aside for your goals and assign it to specific goals. Double-click on the date to pick a date from the calendar. Then use the drop-down menu to pick a goal. And finally, write the amount you just put aside. As time goes by, you will see your progression increase. You can easily see how many months are left until you reach your goal and the date your goal should be achieved. So let's enter an example together in the contribution tracker. So let's enter the date here. And then use the drop-down menu to find our new goal, which was buying a dog. And then let's put $100 aside for this. So as you can see here, we see our progression changed, as well as the goal amount saved, the number of money left that we need to put aside, and the number of months left based on the amount of money we want to put aside each month. So now let's take a look at the debt calculator tab. You will be able to see all your debts payment, as well as the debt-free date. The first thing that you will want to do is to enter the date you started paying your first debt. Then you have to choose your repayment method. You have the choice in between the avalanche strategy, the snowball method, and the custom method. In the avalanche method, you prioritize the debts based on their interest rate. You pay all the minimum payment for all the debts, but you allocate all extra money to the debt with the highest interest rate. This method helps you minimize the total interest paid over time. The snowball method focuses on paying debts with the lowest balance first, then progressing to the larger ones. Once a debt is paid off, the freed up money goes toward paying another debt, hence creating a snowball effect. If you want to customize which debts you want to pay first, you can choose the custom option, and the debt will be treated and analyzed in the order you wrote them in the table below. You can also add some extra cash you have freed up that you would like to put toward paying your debts, but this is optional only. Finally, you need to list all your debts. If you choose the avalanche or snowball strategies, you do not need to bother with the order you write them, since they will be reorganized based on your chosen strategy. If you choose the custom method, you have to write them in order you plan to pay for them. The only thing that you will need to do is to enter the name of your debt, the initial balance, the interest rate, and the minimum payment. Normally, those informations are available in your bank statement. So let's enter an example together. So let's leave the date in the 2024 in June. And for our chosen strategy, let's choose the snowball strategy. So let's leave the monthly extra payment at $50. That makes sense. And then let's go to our debt tracking to enter our information. So let's enter an example together. Let's add another credit card, which is American Express. Let's say the initial balance is $750. The interest rate is 10% and the minimum payment is $50. So as you can see here, if we scroll to the right, we will see our new card, which is in orange right here. You can also see all the information for this specific credit card. So the initial balance, the minimum payment, the interest rate, and the interest owed in this credit card overview. In the overview column, you can also add some extra money that you want to put towards your debt repayment, or you can also subtract some money. So for example, if for a specific month you have some freed up money, as you can see here, it will go toward paying the rest of your debt. If you put a minus sign, it means that you will pay less of your debt for this specific month. So in the orange table here, you also have a summary of all your debts, meaning that the initial balance is the summary or the sum of all your debt. Same thing for the monthly payment, and you can also see your debt payment free date here. So now let's take a look at the net worth tab. The net worth tab will help you visualize your financial worth over time. The first thing that you want to do in this tab is to list your assets and liabilities. So as you can see here, we already listed a few examples for cash, investment, properties as assets. And if you scroll down, you will see a list of examples for liabilities. Every month, you will add your assets and liabilities total, meaning that you can just check your bank account bottom line. So to fill in the information in this tab, you simply have to type in the information at the end of each month. It's very intuitive and simple. Once you have started to fill in some data, the sheets will automatically calculate everything for you. At the top, you will be able to see your overall net worth, your annual growth in dollar, as well as in percentage. In the graphs, you will be able to see your net worth over the months, the difference between your assets and liabilities, as well as the asset distribution. So now let's take a look at the challenge tab. This tab aims to track how many days you did not spend money, as well as setting challenges for yourself. You simply have to enter the number of days that you do not want to spend any money. The rest is automated, and you will be able to see the number of days without spending for each month in the chart. Then you will see 12 small calendars, so one for each month of the year. So when you see a day with the orange background, then it means that you did not spend any money during that specific day. All the data comes from the transaction tab. You will also see the current month highlighted in green. So that's it. I hope this tutorial helps you easily set up your spreadsheet. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or concerns. Follow Priori Digital Studio on YouTube for sneak peeks on our new templates.